This seems dumb, but it literally guarantees you passive income through real estate investing. I've built a $1.9 million portfolio between Virginia and the Midwest using this exact strategy. And I've also helped dozens of students do the same. And I'm about to show you the exact strategy that you can use to escape the 9-to-5 life. Just like my Birmingham student who bought a property for $72K and collects $12.50 a month in rental income through Section 8. You see, 99% of real estate investors ignore this one opportunity, but the smartest investors are quietly building these huge Section 8 portfolios while everyone else fights for overpriced homes to Airbnb. And I know how it feels. You want to invest in real estate, but you're worried about not having enough money to start, tenants who don't pay on time or don't pay at all, properties that sit vacant for months, or unexpected maintenance costs that eat up your profits. And I felt the same way before discovering Section 8 investing. But there is a solution that eliminates virtually all of these concerns. Section 8 is a complete game changer for 3 key reasons. The first is that the government pays 70 to 100% of your tenant's rent directly. They literally direct deposit it every single month to your bank account. So there's no more chasing these rent payments, these late fees, etc. The second reason is they typically pay about 20% on average higher than free market rents. So something that would rent for $1,000 normally, it'd be $1,200 with Section 8. And the third reason is that Section 8 tenants tend to stay for a lot longer than regular tenants, typically 6 years on average. So that means, less turnover, fewer vacancies, and just more consistent cash flow. So my student in Birmingham is collecting $12.50 a month on a $72,000 property. That is over $15,000 per year in guaranteed rental income on a relatively small investment. The real estate market in 2025 has created a perfect storm of opportunity for Section 8 investors that just didn't exist beforehand, making things a lot easier. First, rising interest rates. They've pushed out so many regular buyers just completely out of the market, which honestly just creates less competition for affordable properties in these Section 8 friendly neighborhoods. Second is that the housing choice voucher program in these local housing authorities need landlords more than ever. Currently, about 5% of all rentals are Section 8 voucher accepting. That just isn't enough because 11% of all Americans fall below the poverty line, qualifying them for Section 8, meaning these waitlists are years long for the tenants. And third, from what I've seen, these inspections are going a lot faster than they were previously. I used to see them take 2 months, 3 months, but now I see a lot of the time they're being done in 7 to 14 days. What matters a lot more is making sure your initial paperwork is correct. By the way, if you're serious about building your own Section 8 portfolio, join my free school community. There's over 600 investors already inside, and I run free live webinars twice a week, Monday, Fridays. So come learn, ask questions, and connect with people already doing the exact same thing as you. Second link in the description. The best Section 8 properties are typically priced between 70 to 85K for those that need cosmetic rehab, and 85 to about 110 for turnkey properties. And you want to look in specific markets such as the Midwest. So here is my exact process for finding these hidden gems. First, I go on Investor Lift. You can create a completely free account. I do not recommend the paid membership. And you can look at the entire US all at once using this. Fantastic. So I like to put in the price of whatever you'd like. So let's just say you're going for a maximum of about $100,000. You can apply that. We're only going to look at single family homes, at least 2 bedrooms. And let's see what's available. So it seems like right here, the red is obviously the hottest, orange is semi, yellow is either up and coming or dwindling, one of those two. So it just means less activity for the yellow ones. So I can see through this that, where is this? It seems like St. Louis, looks like Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, yeah. Now, I don't recommend actually going through and buying on this site simply because if you click it, they hide the address. So you can just tell this is a wholesaler, so I don't approve of that. Past this point, once you know the cities you want to look at, just go on Zillow. I mean, Zillow is going to have exactly what you need. Let's look at San Antonio, Texas, right? They're going to have exactly what you're looking for. For example, here is this $89,000 house that I just found within a few seconds. I'm not going to say that this is the one you should buy. Yeah, it looks like this would be a good burr, actually. And again, you just want to select only houses. You want to select the price range you want to go for and at least 2 bedrooms. Now, let's say that you did find one. I'm just going to click this first one because why not? 125K in San Antonio, Texas. Man, that is a gorgeous house. That really is. Okay, it definitely looks like it needs some new paint, but at least the living room, I mean, this is a nice home right here. But how do you actually know what, for example, this would rent for? Well, then you can go to affordable housing. So I'm going to copy this address, go to affordable housing, and I'll go to the market rent estimator. We're going to put in that it is a 3-bed and estimated, let's see, this is saying it could rent for roughly 1570 to all the way to 1757. It's a good range. And from there, you could just put in the zip code 78222 into here and just find comps. Because again, affordable housing is Zillow, but for Section 8 only. And then past this point, you would just work with buyer agents. And buyer agents are typically paid by the sellers. People seem to be so wary of realtors for some reason, but us realtors, we have our literal careers to help you buy homes. And 9 times out of 10, our entire commission is paid by the seller anyways. So it's really not costing you anything other than maybe like a $300 fee. Work with a buyer agent, and especially if you're a mentorship student of mine, I just directly give you the connections to my buyer agents. So there's really no reason not to. And just this whole process is so much easier to find homes than it would have been 5 years ago, 10 years ago, etc. Right? You can just use InvestorLift to find the city, Zillow to find the exact home, affordable housing to find the comps, use a buyer's agent to put an offer on the home. Like it really is just so streamlined now that there's no excuse anymore. And this is the exact system that I used to build a $1.9 million portfolio that generates consistent passive income month after month. One of the biggest obstacles for new investors is financing, but there are 2 powerful options that make Section 8 investing a lot more accessible. So the first is conventional loans. If you have a strong credit history and a strong 2 years income history, then conventional loans are going to be the lowest interest rates you're ever going to see in your life. You might be thinking, I only have, a 30K income, right? I can't qualify for these homes. You don't need a whole lot to qualify for a home that's $80,000, $90,000. So a good way to figure out how much you can actually afford, even if you only have something like a $30,000 income, is using Zillow's affordability calculator. So you can just put in your income, monthly debts, down payment, etc., and you'll be able to get an understanding of how much you could reasonably afford. Now, if you don't have the income or whatever the case is, but you do have at least the cash, for everyone else, a DSCR, which is debt service coverage ratio loan, is probably going to be your best friend. So these loans are based on the property's income rather than your personal finances. So as long as you have above a 680 credit score and you have the down payment ready, you're good to go. So with the right financing in place, you can start building your Section 8 portfolio immediately with as low as 3% down if you're going the conventional route. One of the biggest misconceptions about Section 8 is that the property standards are just impossible to meet. The truth is just so much simpler than that. Here is exactly what Section 8 inspectors look for. Safety first, right? They look for working smoke detectors, secure railings on stairs. If there is no railing, add a railing. No exposed wiring. After that, they're going to look for functional systems. All plumbing, electrical, and HVAC systems must be in working order. They're also going to look for structural integrity, so no water damage, proper roof condition, and secure doors and windows that open, close, and lock. And again, that is what you should be doing anyways. Do you see a trend here? And on top of that, there should be no lead paint, so properties built before 1978. Peeling paint must be addressed, it must be painted over and retested, as it could contain lead. This is just a simple fix that you would see even before the inspection anyways. So online is a completely free HQS inspection checklist. If you do a lot of Googling, you'll find it. It's actually pretty hard to find, but if you go to the local housing authority, you'll usually find it. It's usually like 25 pages. So if you want a 5-page pre-inspection checklist, I give one to all my students, I'm just saying. Using this checklist, we've achieved almost a 100% first-time pass rate on these Section 8 inspections across our portfolio. Many Section 8 properties need only cosmetic updates to meet program requirements. And contrary to popular belief, Section 8 tenants often take better care of their properties than a regular tenant because they don't want to lose their housing voucher. So our average turnkey deals are generating about 15% ROI, while our cosmetic rehab / BRRRR strategy is hitting around 20% ROI simply because it's a little bit higher risk. And we're typically renting out each unit within 2 weeks of closing. In order to invest in Section 8, you also just need a strong team behind you, because investing isn't really a solo journey if you're in real estate. Here are the 5 essential team members that you will need to build your Section 8 empire. First, most important, a knowledgeable agent. So not all real estate agents understand Section 8 opportunities. Not all real estate agents understand investments in general. So you want to find someone who specifically works with investors targeting these properties. They'll know the neighborhoods that have high voucher concentrations. They'll know which properties will pass inspection, etc. You also need a Section 8 friendly property manager. The right property manager will understand and already have these established relationships with the local housing authority, which makes understanding the paperwork and going through the inspection process a lot easier. You also need a HUD familiar home inspector. So before you purchase any property, you want to have an inspector who understands the HUD guidelines. Basically, I'm trying to say is get a good home inspector. You also need a proper renovation crew with HUD experience. Contractors who know exactly what Section 8 requires, so that way they're not adding frills and extras that could potentially cost you thousands of dollars. They think, oh, it'll make the rental look better, but it's just not needed. And you'll also need a lender who can scale you quickly. You want to find specifically lenders who can work with you, who understand your investment strategy, and that's also why I like DSCR so much, because they don't really ask for a whole lot. I personally have spent years building these relationships with these specialists across multiple markets, and it's made all the difference in the world being able to scale efficiently. When your team understands the Section 8 system, your path to passive income is significantly smoother. But consistency and good ideas are just the first step to mastering Section 8 real estate investing. And that is exactly why I put together a completely free video where I show you my exact step-by-step system I used for building a passive income portfolio through Section 8 rentals. So check out this next video where I'll show you what you'll learn, how to get started, and how to use this information to go from $0 to building a $1 million portfolio just like I did. As always, I'm Joseph Khateri. Have a nice day.